So in the last one, we made it so that our player, when it collides with another object that has a rigid body, it will reset. Our only issue for future in the game is that our platform also has a rigid body on it. So if we click on our ground, you're going to see this rigid body, and this is going to cause an issue later on. So we want to come into our code, and we need to add in a trigger. So I'm coming after this bracket on our onCollision, and I'm going to type in another if statement. So if space parentheses result dot other dot tags dot has. So if the object has this tag, space parenthesis single quotes, and we're looking for, we're going to call this trigger, and then I'm going to come to the end of that, hit curly brackets. I'm going to give it a little space there, come back inside, hit return. And so now I'm going to talk about what I want it to do. And the first thing that I want it to do is I want to basically do the same thing that I'm doing here if I hit another rigid body. I want to copy this right here, and I'm going to paste that in. So now when we hit something that has a tag called trigger, it should reset our game. And since we have this code up here, we no longer need this code down here. So I'm just going to select all of this, including that bracket, and I'm going to hit delete, and then I'm going to save my script. I'm going to go back into the game, and now I need to add in that trigger. So the first thing I want to do is go to this box, add a tag, just like I did on, it has to be typed the same, and then I'm going to go to this one also. Make sure you hit enter, otherwise it won't take it, and you can see that that one didn't take it. And now if I launch this and reset it, it's whatever number is. But what happens if we fall off? We just keep going. So this is where we want to come back into our editor. We're going to click on our root and add plus entity. This entity we're going to call our ground. And we're going to take our ground object and we're going to drag it into that. And then we're going to duplicate this ground. And on this ground, we're going to add that trigger so that when we hit this ground, it will reset us. I'm going to take off the model. I could actually probably delete it, but this is what I need to work with, is this collider here. So I'm going to bump that up to an 8, and you're going to see that the collider stretches out. And let's rename this to collider. Hit return. And now that we have that collider set up, I'm going to go ahead and just lower this just a tad so it's below my platform. Notice how it changed colors. Coming into my launch, I'm going to reset this. Notice when I go off the edge of the game that I'm going to reset. And that's going to help our game as we start playing and we start hitting things.